What's up, West Coast Swing fans? If you're a leader or a follower looking to add some style to your dancing, this video is for you. I'm going to talk about two different ways that you can walk and triple to create a bunch of different looks that you see a lot of the pros using on the dance floor. Now, I did a previous video, we talked about the concept of moving from the base or from the top, and if you want to watch that, I'll link it here and at the end. But let's talk about two different ways. First, let's define our leg as a dancer. So when I dance, I want to imagine that my leg goes all the way up to my rib cage, right? So if I'm standing on my left foot, my leg goes up to my rib cage. It doesn't go up to my shoulder. So when I'm standing forward on my left foot, my leg, being my rib cage, is over that, right? Where my shoulder goes starts to become where I can create some styling. What I mean by that is, if you've ever heard of the concept of contra body. So contra body is this fancy concept called swinging your arm in opposition to your leg, just like when you walk. So just walk across the floor, you'll notice you swing your arms opposite. That's contra body, and we want to use that. We also want to take it away depending upon what we want to look. We want to look like when we dance. So if I walk forward on my left foot, I will have a little bit of contra body, meaning I won't be completely with that side over. I have a little of that contra action. I don't necessarily have a ton of it, right? If I walk forward as the follower, I wouldn't necessarily walk in pure contra body. As the leader, I wouldn't necessarily walk in pure contra body either. I would, as my vanilla ice cream, kind of blend the two. As the follower, I might walk not right foot, left foot. I might walk right foot with a little contra. So if you stand in this position, kind of send this hip back and realize there's a little bit of a diagonal pull across here, right? So if you walk forward as the follower, there's a little contra and a little contra. But what I'm displaying is still a little bit more right side and left side. But there's a teeny bit of contra. As the leader, if I was going backwards, or the follower going backwards, same thing, I'm not going to go left side, right side. I could, and I'll choose to do that, and I'll show you where you can do that. But what I want to do is have a little bit of contra. So my left side of my body's back, my leg as the dancer is back, but I'm not purely left side. There's a little bit of contra action. So as I do that, there's a little bit of a contra action. What I feel is, as my shoulders kind of naturally go back, I dance my leg on, which creates this contra kind of feeling. If I dance the other foot, right, it's not purely that side, it's dancing that side and a little bit of my leg, being my rib cage, over top of my foot, right? So if I get into the triple steps, right, if I'm the leader dancing triple steps and I dance back two, I can triple step, and I'll do this from behind, right? Leaders first. If I dance 1, 2, I can take my entire side away, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So you can see I'm taking my shoulder with me, and it creates a look. You've seen a lot of people have this type of arm styling. So that's taking the entire side of your body. Again, leaders, I would go 1, 2, full left side back, full right side back, and that's a look. If I was the followers, I might go 1, 2, full right side back, full left side back. So you can see how that can open up your dancing. Going back to the leaders, vanilla ice cream, beginner class, boring, right? Followers, vanilla ice cream, a little boring. But if I did that same thing, we'll go followers first, taking that side back and that side back, different look. Leaders, back, back. I take that side back and that side back. By the way, the view over this is really spectacular. It's kind of hard to focus when I'm seeing that view, because right now I'm looking at Megan behind the camera and there's the pool, and it's not as pretty as that. But if I took the opposite, and I'll do leaders first, and I went 1, 2, right? Kind of a neutral. But now I want to dance a hardcore contra body and contra body. So what I'm doing there is 1, 2. I'm actually purposefully dancing into a contra look to create a different look, right? If I just did that as a drill, contra triples or same side triples, different look, right? Contra triples or same side triples, right? And that'd be the same for the leader or follower. If I was the leader and I did kind of a contra triple, I'm really creating a connection, right? And a connection in here. If I want to take the side back, 1, 2, I take the left side back and the right side back. And if you imagine, I'm not going to make Megan get from her comfy perch in the shade from behind the camera. But you can see that as the leader, if I took the same side back, I'd be encouraging my follower into that space, right? And that side, I could just leave the hand there. So it starts to change the dynamic of how you dance with your partner. Same thing from the follower standpoint. I don't know why I need to go to this side. If you danced a contra, right, it's very connected, so it's tighter within my body, triple step. But if I really open that up, 1, 2, I might have to connect to my partner, but free up my body and take that back as far as I could. And this side's easier, I can take this back, come back to a neutral position and continue. So kind of practice. I think probably the most fundamental part is to just understand, as I teach this to students, first thing is understanding my leg goes to here, right? And being able to dance on that forward and to dance on that back. And that's gonna be a slight contraposition. The way I understand this is if back, I'm dating myself, when we used to carry around CD packages, you know, the little packs of CDs, or a tray, if I'm walking back, I wanna leave the tray there, and this gives me some contra. If I'm walking forward, it gives me a little bit, I'm gonna exaggerate this, a little bit of contra in that, where I feel like I'm resisting against my right side as I'm forward on my left foot. That's a good way to practice. Then we want to open that up, and I like the triple step drill where I can really over exaggerate that contra, right? I'm dancing my left foot back, but I'm dancing my right side back. It's contra, right? Contra and contra. And then I can practice that where I really go same side and same side. And I probably should have covered this in the beginning. And I did cover this in the other video, which I'll link at the end of this if you want a different way of understanding how you can move from the base or the top to create different looks in West Coast Swing, is my feet. West Coast Swing is a rhythm dance. I want to always have a slight turnout to my feet, right? There's no law. We don't have a book like ballroom does that says if you don't do this, it's completely awful and wrong. But if my feet are slightly turned out and I bend and straighten my legs, you can see everything kind of follows the turnout of my foot. If I were to turn my feet in, right, and bend and straighten my legs, you can see this restriction. So the very first thing I ever teach people in technique in any kind of rhythm dance is I start from the ground up, right? What happens with arm styling, who cares if, you know, if I have beautiful arms, but underneath me, my footwork's a wreck. So the first thing to think about is that slight turnout of your feet, and practice that as you're going forward. Practice it as you're tripling. I still want that turnout to my feet, a slight turnout, and I never want to get this look, because this, if I tuck this foot turned in, right, that's this one, if I tuck this foot turned in, it kind of doesn't matter. If I go same side, everything's restricted, right? If I did this turned in and I went same side, it's very restricted. It even hurts, right? And if I did it in contra, it feels like my rear end is sticking out. So if you guys want to see the other video I did talking about, I think it's titled How to Really Dance West Coast Swing, the concept of moving from the base or the top, I'll link that here. And if you want a gajillion more helpful videos to help you level up on the dance floor, you definitely want to be a member of our website, West Coast Swing Online, westcoastswingonline.com. We have an app in the App Store and in the Google Store. It's super cool. The app's on my phone right now. And yeah, we'll see you on the dance floor soon.